Brexit-geddon, UK-pocalypse, the Great British Break-Off. All terrible names for what I'm trying to get at here. The total and complete splintering of the United Kingdom, all thanks to Brexit. But first, a reminder. In the 2016 Brexit referendum, the voting was actually mixed. Sure, England and Wales voted to leave the European Union, but Northern Ireland and Scotland voted to stay in it.
We pulled it off, didn't we?
Fast forward to now, and how's this working out for Northern Ireland? Well, the Brexit deal, agreed to by UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, has pissed off their unionist parties.
We feel incredibly let down.
Because it kinda sorta puts a customs border in the Irish Sea, kinda sorta severing Northern Ireland from the UK, crapping on the Union.
The Brexit that we have on offer is not a Brexit for the United Kingdom.
In last month's election, for the first time, nationalist candidates, those who support unification with Ireland, won more seats than their UK-loving unionist counterparts. So it all now points to Northern Irish voters favouring rejoining the Republic of Ireland rather than being part of a fractious UK, something that seemed unthinkable a few years ago.
I think there is a real danger of violence. First demonstrations, civil disobedience, and eventually that will lead back up to violence of a terrorist sort again.
Former British diplomat Jonathan Powell predicts trouble when it comes to the land border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Once a war zone between Catholics and Protestants, it's existed in relative peace since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998.
This was always the problem with Brexit. There has to be a hard border somewhere. Wherever it goes, it's going to disrupt the Good Friday Agreement. Because the Good Friday Agreement was based on an open border, so people in Northern Ireland could feel that they were Irish, could feel they were British, or could feel they were both. As soon as you put a border up, you undermine someone's rights.
And it's the undermining of rights and identity that may lead to something worse.
People forget that every single IRA campaign started about the border and around the border. We put a border back in, it will start again.
Then there's Scotland. How's Brexit working out for them?
Scotland does not want a Tory government taking us out of Europe and down a path that we haven't chosen.
Yep, although support for Scottish independence sits at about 50-50, their hugely popular Scottish Nationalist Party dominated the election, winning 48 seats, and it's now pushing hard for another referendum on leaving the UK.
We can choose to stay part of the Westminster Union, or we can choose, as I would, to be independent. I fully expect we'll get the flat no of Tory Westminster opposition.
I feel that the Scottish Nationalist Party should concentrate more on delivering on the domestic priorities of the people of Scotland and rather less on breaking up our United Kingdom.
Right.
The grievances of the nationalists will go up and up and up, and that will force them into getting eventually a referendum, which this time they'll probably win.
The more a Tory government seeks to block the will of the Scottish people, the more support for independence will rise.
Yep, things are starting to get very messy. The Scots have been coming to this building since 1707 and the Irish since 1801. And it's just unbelievable to think there's a chance that that union might break up after all that time and all they've been through over something like Brexit. But that's kind of the story of this whole saga. It's a story of unintended consequences. Things going wrong that just were not foreseen, really, by anyone. And it's a warning of what happens when politicians start playing with forces they don't fully understand.
So the paradoxical effect of Brexit, in which we're trying to leave the European Union, is we'll actually collapse the United Kingdom. People should have been aware what was going to happen, but they closed their eyes to it. They said, oh, there'll be technological answers to this, there'll be other ways of solving the problem. They were wrong.
Waleed is exactly right. This is just an accident, essentially. The people advocating Brexit didn't think they were going to win. The Prime Minister at the time, Dave Cameron, who actually went for it, didn't think that he would lose. It cost him his leadership. They lost another Prime Minister before they got to Boris. The whole thing was a cluster something.
Yeah.
One of those. Exactly what it was.